I've been waiting for this day. So welcome to Bukit Timah. So where are we right now is actually District 10. Behind me is actually a freehold semi-D, and you realize that there are actually 2 units, and that means that if you are interested, you can come down and view 2 at the same time. So let's go in and talk more about this unit. So as we enter, you realize that the whole design is very comfortable with that small curve in front. So basically in this area, you can comfortably park in 2 cars with no issues. But the very first thing that caught my eye when we look up is actually this evocative timber-like ceiling. It is very luxurious. So in terms of the finishing, you can tell these are all small tiles. Why we should have smaller tiles? Because in terms of the gradient, it's easier to control, and that means you can actually avoid ponding effect. So before we enter the unit, what I really like is that you have a small deck over here and the pool. The design is actually very beautiful because why? Let's take a step inside, I'll show you more. I love these kind of huge doors. As we enter, welcome. This area that we are standing on is actually the living, but if we take a look at the main entrance over here, the direction that we are facing is actually the northwest direction. This plot of land that we are standing on is actually 3,132 square feet with a build-up of 6,100 square feet, and it comes with a total of 5 bedrooms and 6 baths. So remember I was telling you about the swimming pool? You look up, do you see the reflection over there? To be honest, it's actually quite mesmerizing if you ask me. So as we walk in front over here, this is actually designated dining area. So it gives you a ceiling height of about 7 meters. So behind, you can actually have your dry island kitchen. And of course, if you really want, you can do outdoor cooking right behind. So in front of me, just your wet kitchen can be, you realize. So they have already provided all this aluminum finishing because these are all very durable. Of course, you have your electric point, your sink all done up for you, and it gives you direct access to the pool. And I would say by far this is the very first time that I have seen such staging done over here, sunbed and stuff like that. It's just very comfortable. And you realize if you stand right over here, in the morning when you're swimming, the sunlight only shines half the pool. So if let's say you're very afraid, you want natural light, yet you do not want the sun to be hitting on you, it's very comfortable. I would say everything is very well thought before they design. So now let's head inside the unit. Oh my god, I realized even the ceiling over here is using the same finishing as the carport. No wonder it comes so well together. And the powder room is actually tucked at a corner, which I like because you don't want your powder room to be in the living, just an eyesore if you ask me. So of course, like all this finishing, curved mirror, I would say very, very atas. So on the left, you actually have a good sized helper's room with its own ensuite bath. You can check out over here. Not too bad. Of course, you have your home shelter over here and the lift. So as we head up to the 2nd level, they have done a little pocket over here. Of course, they have taken into consideration in terms of safety, so it's not very low, so don't have to worry, but it gives you a very good view of who is at the entrance. So now, let's head up to the 2nd level. So the thing about the 2nd level is that actually, it is very rare for you to find a unit with 4 ensuite bathrooms on the same level. Nowadays, the one that we have saw, probably 2, maybe maximum 3, but this one has 4 and all comes with ensuite. And by far the kind of finishing I'm seeing, the quality is quite good. Okay, so as we head into the bathroom, how do you know if the developer pays a lot of attention to details? Curved corners, mirror. So of course, you have your standing shower over here and your little niche for you to put all your stuff. So let's head out onto the other room. So the difference between that room and this room is that it has a slightly longer walkway before you enter the main area. And you realize that this whole unit actually, the developer did not provide a carpentry. Because why? People that are living in this area, they have their taste and everything. So in terms of carpentry, I would say it is not the most expensive things. But of course, let's say you want the developer to provide you with this carpentry, it can be done, it can be discussed. So looking over here, you realize that we are actually on an elevated ground. In fact, our neighbors over there, our first level is actually maybe their level 2. So it gives you this very comfortable half sky, half landed kind of view. And if you realize the doors that they have are very, very huge panels. So on to the next place. In terms of groceries, if you ask me, while we are walking over there, actually we have cold storage within about 400 meters away. So likewise, you realize this room and that room is the exact mirror of the other side. Meaning to say, let's check out this room. You have a small walkway over here and your own ensuite bathroom. So it leads you actually to a shared balcony which is over the other side. Quite small, but it allows you to walk over. So let's head over to the other room. It comes with a balcony. So you can see, straight away you enter in the room and you have a very huge balcony outside. Here you go. So along this road, it's very, very quiet because this road actually leads you up to the GCB. I would say the second last unit before we reach the GCB. So it's a very quiet, very peaceful environment. So now let's head up to level 3, and for the very first time, let's take a look at how is it like to have the whole level belonging to the masters. Likewise, I would say the design is very nice because these are some of the things that I've spotted different. So normally they only have a window on one end, but they don't have on the other side. But you realize for this side, there are pockets of windows on both sides to ensure natural lighting coming in. So welcome to the 3rd level. So this whole place is very exclusive, it just belongs to the masters. Of course, if you want, this balcony can be directly accessed without having to enter the masters, which I think is important. But let's take a look at the masters. Here you go. And the very first thing that caught my eye is that this door is even bigger and it's just 2 panels. You can imagine, if let's say this is a 3-panel sliding door, it will feel a little bit less impactful. But because it's such a big panel, that view is just so amazing. I don't know if you guys can feel it, but if let's say you're interested, come down and feel it for yourself because it feels different to be here. So behind you is actually a space the developer has actually allocated for you for your walk-in wardrobe, which I think is a good size, very squarish. So into the bathroom, of course, these are all German bath fittings that you're looking at. Quite good quality, and they have the bathtub tucked in one corner for you. It also comes with a standing shower. This really feels like a very hotel and resort feel, if you ask me, because I'm here. So last thing that I want to share with you, so moving on, this balcony actually leads you to the back. And this is something that I feel that is quite interesting for me to share with you. You realize what is this? So these are all timber look-alike aluminium finishing, and it's all the way throughout the external facade. Why? Because it makes it look very extravagant, at the same time easy for you to maintain. So speaking of this area which I want to bring you here, this is something that I would like to share with you, because if you come over here, they have actually placed all the compressor, water pump all in this area. So that means that if you have your maintenance guy to come here, everything is here, it's easy for them to access. At the same time, they even bother to decorate up this gate. You oversee in front. It's really a very beautiful view. So in this area, we are actually very, very close to a lot of renowned schools. I can name you a few, for example, Methodist Girls, Henry Park. So these are all very good schools that sometimes people living in Bukit Timah, they would want to go to this kind of schools. So that's all for today. If let's say you love the District 10, you love Bukit Timah, you want to come down and check out this brand new freehold semi-D, let me know. Otherwise, the price of this unit is actually going at $12 million. So if you're interested, let me know.